Hi there, and welcome to part 4 of my Train Slow to Race Fast series. In part 3, I looked at the first solution, which is using a heart rate monitor to be able to make sure that you go easy enough on your designated easy days. In this part, I'll be looking more at the specific roles of coaching, and which is why I call my second solution hire yourself a coach. And here I put hire in inverted commas simply because you can work with a real coach or you can work with a virtual coach, or as what happens most of the time in the real world is you work with a real coach in a virtual environment. And in just a couple of moments I'll explain to you which is the best virtual environment that I found to work with the athletes that I work with, and it's a virtual environment where you can work with yourself in a self-coaching type of environment as well. Piggybacking on the first solution of using a heart rate monitor is using a good coach will make the ability to be able to adhere to the 80-10-10 rule an absolute no-brainer, because your coach has worked out your training sessions for you, and what happens is first thing in the morning you'll be receive your email or tweet, or whether if it's a week to week type of basis, you'll be receiving on a weekly basis what your training sessions are Monday to Sunday of that week. But either which way, or maybe a personal tweet coming through or an instant message or something like that, but you receive a message from your coach saying today you do X number of minutes, X number of kilometers at this heart rate. Simple. And you go out there and you adhere to that. You don't need to be keeping in mind what percentage of my training am I doing at this intensity or that intensity, because what happens is after you've done your session, you upload your data that you've got from your heart rate monitor. Your coach can monitor that and adjust your next workouts accordingly. And obviously most coaches aren't actually present during the workout that the runner does, so which means that a certain degree of self-discipline is necessary. But because your heart rate monitor is recording what you're doing and you're going to be sending that data through to your coach, there's really no place to hide. If you've been told to run at 136 beats per minute and you come back and you send the data through to the coach and you've been running at 176 beats per minute, there's no place to hide behind those numbers. That's what you actually did. All that will mean is that your coach will probably be giving you a couple of strong words and need to restructure your program in order to be able to get enough low intensity work done so that you don't overtax your system. Also, when working with a coach, the important factor is whether or not you click with your coach, whether or not there's some sort of natural athlete-coach chemistry that allows you to relate, have some sort of a rapport that you can really work together easily. Some relationships just work and some relationships don't. It doesn't make the athlete a bad person, it doesn't make the coach a bad person, but sometimes those two just don't gel properly. And other times you'll have an athlete-coach synergy that works together brilliantly well, and through that synergy the coach is able to get so much more out of the athlete than what the athlete would be able to do by themselves. But if the coach and athlete are clashing on an ongoing basis, then we're talking about a negative breakdown type of relationship, and that's lacking in the synergy, and you'll be struggling to be able to really move further as an athlete. And true, from a real coach point of view, you might not be able to find a good coach in your direct vicinity that you can be having this type of good synergy with you, but you're definitely not out of luck there. And like with anything else, heart rate monitoring or hiring a coach isn't necessarily the optimum for everyone, but I believe with the right amount of guidance, a great many runners will be able to adhere to the 80-10-10 rule and reap the fitness rewards and speed rewards from slowing down on the vast majority of the runs that they do. If you don't have a coach that you can have synergy with in your immediate area, no need to despair, because within the virtual environment it's possible to work closely with a coach even if they are 10-20,000 miles away. And the resource that I'm talking about is the resource that I advise to everybody, and please be aware that I'm not affiliated to these guys in any way. I don't make any money whatsoever from making this recommendation, but from personal experience, it's out of all the resources out there, this is the resource that I found that works best. The organization is called trainingpeaks.com, and down below in the description I'll put a link on where you can find their website. Through trainingpeaks.com you'll be able to work with your coach, upload your training data there, your coach can review your training data, your coach can post your training programs onto trainingpeaks.com, and what Training Peaks then does is it gives you an email or text message alert every morning telling you what your training session is for that day. If you want, even if you're wanting to be a self-coached athlete, put your self-calculated training programs into the Training Peaks system. Get Training Peaks to generate you the daily email, so which means that you don't need to go and sit and review your entire program every morning before you go out on a run to see what intensity level you need to be doing a specific run at. Plug it all into Training Peaks, and in the morning when you get up you'll be getting a message through your phone saying, go out on your morning run and run at X intensity. Done. Nothing more to think about. Strap on your heart rate monitor, go out there and do your session at that specific intensity. It just takes all the guesswork out of it. And lastly, also down in the description area below this video, you'll find a link to a resource that you can use to calculate what your approximate lactate threshold is and your approximate aerobic threshold is, that you can utilize together with your heart rate monitors to see what is the heart rate, the beats per minute heart rate that you need to be training at on your low intensity days, and the beats per minute heart rate you need to be training at on your medium intensity days. As far as high intensity days are concerned, you just go all out, flat out during the hard intervals of that session, and that's where you get your rewards. There's no specific heart rate level that you need to be training at during your high intensity sessions. So that's the end of the fourth and last part of the Train Slow to Race Fast series. Please give me your comments and criticisms down in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, click the like button, share this video amongst your running friends so that more runners can reap benefits from training slower, to be able to race fast, and also to be able to be keeping going for more years injury free. And also, finally, while talking about the area down just below the video, click the subscribe button so that you can be kept up to date on new videos that I post with training tips, training ideas on a week-to-week basis. See you next time. Cheers.